guys, it's Dylan with CT Aquatics, and today we're going to be going over this office display tank and the entire system downstairs as well. The display tank is upstairs, and the water is going to drain from the display through these two larger tubes. They'll drain into this first chamber, and this is just where the water falls into the sump. The water will then flow into the filter sock chamber and go through the filter socks, where they will filter out particulate matter, which includes any of the fish waste, any excess food or algae. Following this chamber, we go into our next chamber. It is currently empty, but this will be used for our refugium. So a refugium is a section in the sump where you will grow macroalgae. The macroalgae will help to absorb any nutrients in the tank, such as nitrates and phosphates, so that the algae won't grow in the rest of the tank. After going from this chamber where the refugium will be, we go into the next chamber. In this chamber, we have our protein skimmer, our ceramic media, along with the input for our calcium reactor. The calcium reactor is used to dose our major elements to the tank: calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium. The protein skimmer is used to help remove any of the fish waste, such as excess food or fish poop. Basically, the fish poop will dissolve into the water, and this helps to pull it out. The water will then also pass over our ceramic media, which is used to house our beneficial bacteria. So the beneficial bacteria is used as a way to help break down waste further so that it can be removed through the protein skimmer. Moving from this chamber, the water then flows into our return pump chamber, flowing over the heater, which will help to maintain the temperature in the tank. And then the water will be returned through the return pump, through these two return lines, into the display tank. We have a manifold on this lower line that can be used to add chemical media if we ever desire to do so. And on this return line, we have put our UV sterilizer in line to help remove any unwanted bacteria or nuisance algae. All right, so now back upstairs to the tank. This is the display tank, and we're going to show you what's under the hood, all of the plumbing going from the tank to the basement. These are the drain and return lines that go from the tank to the sump, and then from the sump back up to the tank. On this side, we have, through the bigger line, is one of our drains, and on the other side is our return line. So the left one goes down to the sump, and then the return line has a check valve in it so that the water can't get sucked back down from the return line into the sump. So this is important so that when you're doing like a water change or something and you turn the pump off, normally the return lines would become a siphon and start pulling water back into the sump, but we don't want that because it would end up flooding the sump and water would get everywhere. So on this side, it's very similar. We have one of the return lines with a check valve and our main drain. So this main drain on this side has a gate valve. This has a siphon, so it pulls as much water as possible. And then you tune the gate valve down in order to help reduce sound, which is why this tank is so quiet up here. On each side of the overflow box, we have a return line, so this is where the water is getting pushed from the sump back into the tank. This is one of the return lines. This is the other return line. So the middle is the overflow box. That's where the water will flow from the tank into the sump. That's where all the pipes and obviously everything goes through. So on this side, where you can see that gray piece, that is the secondary drain, the one that had the ball valve that was wide open. And then next to it on this side, which I don't know if you can see, that's where the siphon is, the one that had the gate valve on it. Okay, so as you can see, this was the overview of our system. In future videos, we're going to go through each component and go in much more detail of how each part works. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.
If you like our content, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications to join us on our journey through the sea.